Hi, hello.
Hello guys, welcome to Pitching In Line. In this video, we're going to talk about Sunrisers versus Kolkata Knight Riders match. Both the teams came into this fixture with 0 points on the table. Both of them lost their first match, their respective first matches, and it was important for them to start off well. And KKR drew the first blood, and they beat Sunrisers very convincingly, and they opened their win account. And as far as Sunrisers are concerned, they are right now bottom of the table. So let's get into this video, and we'll start with the toss. This was the first time where captain, after winning the toss, has chose to bat first instead of fielding. What are your thoughts on that? Because this thing it didn't happen in this season so far.
Yeah, it was the first time, and apart from the first match where chasing team has won, apart from that, every match which happened so far before this, all the teams which batted first won the match comfortably in most cases. And yesterday was a different approach for David Warner. Maybe he was too confident on his bowling than batting, middle order slump. So anyway, he won the toss. He came into bat, and we saw that pitch was, not so, what do you say? It was sticking. It was sticky. The ball was not coming onto the bat very easily. The stroke
Yeah,
making
true.
was very difficult, and Basto tried his level best. He was struggling. That was quite evident, and it took that one delivery from Pat Cummins to dismiss him. Then all they required was a partnership where they needed to provide a solidarity and make sure that they don't lose more wickets and they end up having a good total on the board. So then it was Manish Pandey's turn to join with David Warner. So what do you think that partnership was? Were they up to the required kind of run scoring rate, or were they lacking?
Dave Warner, Manish Pandey.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they were. I mean, they were, both of them were struggling initially, but though they were many lot of boundaries, they were running really well in between the wickets. And their scoring rate was probably around 6 to 7. But knowing how explosive David Warner is, once he gets set in, he can actually take advantage of the pitch. We have seen how important is that settled batsman to go on and make a big score. So they were set up for that. Until after the strategic time break, David Warner got out, which is after the ninth over.
Mhm.
So and if you actually see according to this match, after 9-10, right? I think David Warner was set to explode, but he got out in the first ball after the timeout, which made things very difficult for Sunrisers, and they bought in Saha at 2 down,
Yes. So that,
which
yeah, well, I was about to ask that question. Saha was inducted into that 11, no, just to increase his scoring rate. But at the end of the day, when you saw that scorecard, his strike rate was below 100. So, do
Nabi
you
and Rashid Khan.
did you think that his strike rate was the problem in Sunrisers getting 20 runs below than what they should have got?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, at the end of the day, it played a huge role. Uh, but I think I can understand why he was very rustiness. You can't expect him to come in straight away, and I didn't get the logic. Because in the first match you dropped Saha. Your
Mm.
first choice batsmen were Priyam Garg and Abhishek Sharma. I think. But I think I only see one logic is because they wanted to stabilize the innings till 13th or 14th over. I think the initial plan was not to lose wickets. But the wicket was very tough to play your strokes. And Saha somehow couldn't really move on. He struggled a lot. I mean, 31 balls, 30 in this format is not at all impressive. But that is said and done. And I would like to have a word about Manish Pandey. Actually, Manish Pandey played really well. He played a proper number 3 innings. He was anchoring the innings very well. He needed somebody, to come and play that knock of explosive knock and take some pressure off him. and that's where Saha has failed. And he played until the last over. I think probably as SRH thought, till 14th, 15th over, if he stabilizes, then last 5 hours they thought of going after the bowling, but the plan has backfired. And Manish Pandey got out at the right time. If he was there until then, maybe Sunrisers would have scored the given 20 runs, which would have made the difference.
Yes, correct. Once they posted 140, it was always KKR's game to lose, right? And it was all up to Sunrisers bowling to knock KKR off if they have any kind of realistic chance. So yesterday we saw a couple of left-arm seamers into the 11 for Sunrisers. They played Natarajan from the first game, and they also had Khalil Ahmed coming in for Sandeep Sharma. So how was that move? Did you like the idea of bringing in two left-arm seamers into the same 11?
The same 11. See, Natarajan bowled well. After that first match, I think he calmed his nerves. He came back and he bowled well. And Khalil Ahmed is a wicket taker. I think they wanted to go with Khalil because he's a wicket taker. And actually, to an extent, he bowled well.
Mm-hmm.
If you see in every over, when in starting when he was bowling to Shubman Gill, he was at least there were 2 to 3 dot balls minimum when Khalil Ahmed was bowling. But the only issue what Khalil was having was he was being too predictable. If there were 2 3 dot balls in the same after bowling one kind of delivery, he's again bowling the same kind of delivery, and you could see how Shubman Gill manipulated it. One shot he came down the track and hit it over mid wicket. And other shot, he came towards the leg side and he beat it and hit it towards the cover. So he became very predictive. I think he should learn from it now, Khalil Ahmed. But coming to Shubman Gill, he was mighty, mighty impressive. This tournament so far has been very good for youngsters, Indian youngsters. We have seen Padikkal, we have seen Samson. Now we are seeing Shubman Gill. And he played a very mature knock. I was very, very impressed. What do you think about Shubman Gill's knock?
Shubman Gill's knock was important as far as his own confidence is concerned, and also the chase. And moreover, I think yesterday's situation was tailor made for him, because 141 to chase in 20 overs wasn't so difficult. You're just chasing at over 7 runs and over, so you don't need to take any kind of extra risks for that. And it was kind of a tailor made situation for him to come and play his natural game without taking any kind of risks. And I think he used that opportunity really well. And most impressive thing, which you asked me, is he managed to finish the game. He came not out. He carried his bat through, and that was the most important thing which a opening batsman should do for his team. Once you get set and you have to finish the game, you have to make sure that you don't leave it to anybody else. Because if you are set and if you throw your wicket away, then you don't know what will happen with your middle order. But Gill, sensibly, he made sure that he bats through the innings, along with batsmen like Owen Morgan and all, so that he made sure that that match is finished without any fuss. And what do you think about Morgan's partnership with Gill? If there was one more wicket at that point of time, Russell
Yeah,
coming in, and you never know what would have
yes.
happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the most crucial partnership because KKR went into this match with a very, very long tail.
Hmm.
SRH, at 53 for 3, KKR, they already picked up 3 wickets. SRH picked up 3 wickets. If they took 2 or 3 wickets, right, then the match would have been almost done. I mean, they would have come into bowling. Tailenders, Pat Cummins and Varun Chakravarti would have come into bat. But they both played very, very sensibly. I think that's the right word. Actually, even Ian Morgan was struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And then he hit a 4 and a 6, but until then his strike rate also was around 90, 80 and 90. Even he was struggling. But
Mm-hmm.
more than struggling, he played it sensibly. I think that's the difference between experience and non-experience. And he need not require to go after the bowling. Just take singles here and there because there was no scoreboard pressure at all. And again, the huge credit goes to Shubman Gill also, because occasionally, they would take a lot of singles, but occasionally they used to pick up their odd boundaries. So all in all, it was a good match for KKR, but it will be interesting to see whether they'll go with the same team in the next match or not.
Yeah, we'll discuss that little later. But we'll start with discussing about Sunrisers. So they have plenty of things to ponder over, right? And they have lost their couple of matches. Losing your first two matches initially always puts a lot of pressure on you. You know, as a captain, as a coach, and everything. And as far as SRH is concerned, from past 2 3 years, it's dependent upon David Warner and Johnny Bairstow to give them a good start. If either one of them fail, then it comes to that inexperienced middle order, which they are still trying to sort out. I don't know, for a long time. And Manish Pandey finally getting some consistency in the middle order, but later on in the middle, we're not seeing any kind of stability. That's why it puts extra pressure on somebody like Manish Pandey, and that's the reason why I think they bought in Ridhiman Saha into the 11. So, what do you feel? Coaching staffs of Sunrisers, including Trevor Bayliss and Lakshman, should do in the next match differently, to make things work.
Yeah, I mean, they are. I have 2 3 points to stress upon. And the number one, like you pointed out about coaching staff, I think now Trevor Bayliss is a new coach. Brad Haddon is also new assistant coach for Sunrisers. So we have to know whether how well Trevor understands the local players or the team in general, because they didn't have much of a time or much of team bonding sessions. They had quarantine and everything, but we don't know whether he really knows the players or not. But that's where Lakshman and Murli should come in. They should come in and they should guide Trevor Bayliss and also all the Indian youngsters as well. But and one more thing, if I was team management, I would tell all the players not to panic. I think this is not the time for SRH to panic. Yes, they lost 2 matches, and in the first match they were in a good position to win, but they couldn't win. And second match, KKR played well. I think you got to be honest, and sometimes you have to give credit to the opposition as well. Shubman Gill, he played very flawless innings because he didn't give a chance. He wasn't beaten, so I don't remember him getting beaten. So sometimes you have to give credit to the opposition. And this is a long tournament. It has 14 matches. If you statistically, if you speak, generally, team which finishes first, on the tables in the league stage, usually is the team which has wins around 9 to 10 matches. Let's assume it's 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the team which qualify for the playoffs, usually they end up with 7 or 8 wins. So let's keep the number as 8. That means you'll still have 6 matches where you can lose the match. As in, sometimes you'll have a bad day as a team. Sometimes the opposition plays better than you, and uh, and they win it. And sometimes there will be this close matches where it could have gone either way, and the opposition team has sneaked a win. So if you keep all those things in general in your mind, so with 2 losses, they shouldn't be over panicked or become very dejected or disheartened. And uh, and the team, I don't think so. It's in very very bad form, especially the big players. They have this middle order issue, and I think they'll have this issue throughout the tournament. But one thing they have to keep in their mind is to play the natural game. I think based on Warner were a little bit conservative against KKR because keeping in mind of their fragile middle order. But I think one of the solutions could be bringing in Kane Williamson. If you have that feeling at back of your mind that Kane Williamson is coming at 4 or number 3, then I think David Warner and Johnny Bairstow will have they can properly go and attack the bowlers, because they are attacking players. You can't ask them to go there and play a conservative innings. It's better to take the attack to the opposition. So I think bringing in Kane Williamson can solve a few issues for them. And one more thing is I think even the bowling. Bowling should be Bhuvi kind of had an inconsistent run so far in the 2 matches, and it's very early to judge him right now. But it's very important that the bowling unit uh, bowls together. They bowl as a unit. They have to hunt in a pack. So, do you have any other points what you would like to see of SRH going forward?
Yeah, you said almost everything. But I want to stress upon Williamson only because yesterday he had an interview, mid match. During the match he was interviewed in sidelines, where he himself, made
Mm.
sure that he's available for the next match and he's getting fit. So if that is the case, then Sunrisers team management will be really happy. And I'm only seeing Mohammad Nabi going out for Kane Williamson. I thought Mohammad Nabi had a good match, but then again, you have to see the bigger picture, right? When Williamson gets fit and the kind of batting which they possess in the middle order, I think it's only fair that Williamson has to make way into the 11, and he bats at number 4 or number 3 accordingly, which will make things more easier and ease the pressure of David Warner and Johnny Bairstow at the top. So that was Sunrisers.
I think I
Yeah.
think the major issue SRH would have if they bring Kane Williamson is Kane Williamson will play in top four. David Warner, Johnny Bairstow, Manish Pandey, and Kane Williamson, who will be your 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7. You have to go with relatively no experience players. You have to go with Abhishek Sharma or Vijay Shankar. I mean, he is a very promising player, but somehow never delivered for SRH. But I think they have to keep a faith on him. Or again, Priyam Garg or Abdul Samad. So you have literally no experience down the order because you have Rashid Khan. You can't expect Rashid Khan to come and finish matches every time for you. Out of 14, 2, 3, he can give you that 20-run score. But you can't expect all the time. I think this is I think SR thinking on these lines to include Williamson or not. With Nabi is a little bit experienced and he can play. I think that is what SRH is thinking. So now let's talk about KKR.
So KKR,
So
I
what do you
think
think about KKR? Do they have to make any changes going forward or not?
I don't think they need to do any changes because their team came together yesterday. They didn't have any kind of complaints as far as their batting or bowling or fielding is concerned. I think I was really impressed with the captaincy of Dinesh Karthik yesterday. It was like very smooth. The way he rotated his bowlers, the way he
Yes.
used his bowlers. And I was really impressed. We were talking about it in the last video when we were talking about Pat Cummins being underused in the initial overs, the new ball. We were telling that how he is important with the new ball to take initial breakthroughs. And I think Karthik was spot on yesterday regarding that. He used him very sensibly in the with the new ball, and he picked up the wicket of Johnny Bairstow, and it automatically put the brakes. Had he not picked the wicket of Johnny Bairstow, the things would have been very different. And it made things easier for the less experienced bowlers like Varun Chakravarti, Kamlesh Nagarkoti, to bowl at their own pace. So I don't think any kind of changes is required for Kolkata Knight Riders. I think Brendan McCullum has done a good job, and along with Dinesh Karthik. So he is already fresh from his coaching experience with Trinbago Knight Riders in CPL, where he won the championship. So he is fresh from that. So he'll still be having plenty of ideas regarding how to go about and how to deal with the youngsters in the team along with the experienced pals in the team. So what do you feel about KKR's overall performance as compared to the first match? What they did
I mean,
right
yeah, I
yesterday?
mean, I think one very good move was playing 7 bowlers. They had proper 7 bowlers because SRH was anyway were having problem with their batting. Once you remove Pandey, Warner, and Bairstow, uh, the team. SRH doesn't have another explosive batsman or someone who can make a mark. So I think that's why they boosted their bowling attack and they wanted to take advantage of it, which was a good move in my opinion. But I don't know whether it works against other teams. If you're playing against Mumbai, where their bowling is probably the most balanced, or even Delhi has a very good bowling. If you come with this batting lineup, right, then they'll have a lot of trouble because this is a very very short batting. you can't. I mean, you can't always expect the same thing. Luckily they had only 140 scores, so it became comfortable. But to chase over 200 total with that kind of batting order will be very difficult. I think that's the only thing. I think KKR will choose the team according to their opposition.
So that's it, guys. That was
So
our
that's it about the.
analysis. So
Yeah, go on.
we'll talk about the next match in the next video. So bye bye for now. Take care.